Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Caleb here. XRP just jumped over 5% in the last 24 hours following confirmation of a temporary US Iran ceasefire. Bitcoin's up like near $72,000. Markets are beginning to breathe again. But for XRP holders, the real catalyst isn't the ceasefire at all. Stay until the end because I'm going to break down why the Clarity Act is still the most important April driver for XRP and what needs to happen for a realistic move towards those $2, $3 price targets again. So we got a few stories here, but starting with why XRP's role is quietly becoming more important because of moments like this. So a quick reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. Please always do your own research. I'm sharing market analysis and personal perspective. Always do your own research and manage risk responsibly, right? So before we talk charts, long-term price movements, if we zoom out, XRP wasn't built to be a mere meme coin, right? Or digital gold. It was designed to move money across borders instantly, right? So, especially when traditional systems are slow, expensive, or under stress. And right now, that stress is pretty obvious, right? So, between geopolitical shocks, oil volatility, regulatory uncertainty, right? Institutions are looking for better ways to move liquidity. And that's where XRP comes in, right? Real time cross border settlement, liquidity bridging between systems, payments without risky pre funding, right? Built for regulated financial rails. If the Clarity Act moves forward this month, XRP becomes one of the few large cap assets with, well, clearly utility, legal clarity, existing infrastructure. And don't forget, like they've already won the lawsuit. So in a way, like XRP is the only, regulated cryptocurrency out there, right? They won the lawsuit that the SEC placed on them, right? And that's why my April target like isn't isn't hype. I'm bullish for April because if regulation progresses and macro stays stable, then I think we could be seeing a $3 XRP in no time, right? And I'm hoping that April kind of brings it that way. It's hard to say exactly, but like we're not going to be staying at these lows forever, guys. And this is a perfect time to be gobbling it up, in my opinion. But, you do your own, research and get your own confidence in why you think XRP is going to explode. And if you think XRP is going to drop off and die, I don't know why you would think that. But if you do, let me know in the comments. I'd like to know. Right. So I think a thing to realize is that a driver of XRP's price going high is that, well, President Trump confirmed a 2 week ceasefire, of course, right? Involving, US, Iran, Israel, easing concerns around the Strait of Hormuz in, of course, a key oil route that we've all been hearing about over and over and over again in the last couple weeks here, right? And markets have been reacting immediately, right? Oil been dropping, volatility fell, like risk assets are starting to move higher. Like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP, they all rallied 4 6%. And why this matters for XRP is that lower oil prices equals less inflation pressure, which creates better liquidity conditions, right? So, but this is, of course, a short-term relief. It's not going to be the main driver, but it's a start. It's definitely a start. And let me tell you about something that like kind of flew under the radar is that while Bitcoin and Ethereum's ETFs saw outflows, XRP linked ETFs saw about $3 million of inflows. That's not like insane amounts of money, but direction matters. Why is XRP getting inflows? And why is Bitcoin and Ethereum's ETFs be all outflows, right? So, flows look selective, not really emotional, right? I think somebody might know something that maybe the general population doesn't. But I think you guys following here are, and if you're getting value here, please, throw a like and a subscribe. And I'm going to keep bringing you these updates as fast as they come in, right? So I think the most important story today is while the Senate returns on April 13th, right? The banking committee targeting markup is in late April. And if the Clarity Act advances, clear federal rules for digital assets, a major unlock can happen for XRP to just be used across the board, right? And analysts are expecting as soon as this happens, right? Like we could be seeing a $5 XRP right after the Clarity Act goes, right? I mean, some people are saying even higher. It's hard to say. I think maybe it might be more of a slow build. Is actually kind of my link, like almost like a buy the rumor, sell the news. But that's not guaranteed. It could really be a catalyst once this thing goes off that, it might be hype in retail, but institutions have already been stacking way before this, right? So eh, be careful. But I think it really could. I think it really could send the price to the moon, right? I hope so. So April is historically strong for XRP. And this time, I don't think is any different. I think we're going to have a strong April. I think we're going to end the month on a positive green candle. After all, like about six. I don't think this is going to be our seventh month of red candles, monthly candles. I think it's going to be a green one. Um, you know, I guess we're going to find out. It's already the 8th, so we'll see. We'll see, right? So I think with interest rates, global uncertainty, legislative risk, I think the key takeaway here is that like these are conditional setups, right? And in the next 3 weeks matter more than they have, I think, ever. I think the next 3 weeks are going to be very telling for XRP's future in the short term and in the long term, and for crypto altogether in that matter, right? But they're moving forward with it regardless. We're going to have a great April. And I mean, just look on chain, right? Over $11 billion in XRP has moved off of exchanges into long term storage. And what this means is that lower liquidity supply, thin order books, right? No sign of panic selling. And historically, this happens before major moves, not after them, right? If demand increases while supply stays tight, price can move fast. And I don't think it's really going to be too quiet. I think it's going to be pretty loud, and everyone's going to be wishing that they had the opportunity that you have now to be stacking these bags, right? So technically, yeah, XRP is holding the $1.30 range in that zone, that strong support level. It's been hanging out there for a while. It survived the threat of a complete annihilation of the Middle East, right? I think that shows a lot of strength in the market, even though we haven't seen it take off yet, right? The ceasefire showed definitely how fragile global systems still are. But in those moments, right, assets built for speed, certainty, and settlement, they gain importance. And that's where XRP fits in, not during panic, but right after it. I think we're gonna the average Joe that doesn't know what XRP and Ripple are, I think in the next, 6 to 18 months, everybody's gonna know about XRP and Ripple. And if you're knowing it now, then you're positioned to do very, very well, in my opinion, in the coming months ahead. Right. So if the Clarity Act passes, if the passes committee this month, it becomes law later this year, then we're going to be seeing some pretty sweet movements in crypto this next bull cycle. And who knows what the tops will show. Right. So I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, I'll be happy with a $3 XRP again," right? And then I can just get out. I think that's silly, in my personal opinion. Uh, I always say, have a bag to hold, have a bag to sell, right? You can't go wrong when you sell into profit, but I think you're gonna want to hold these things long term because I think they will actually really revolutionize and change your lives, right? So, hey, if you guys are getting value here and you're appreciating these updates, please throw a like. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this April, if we're going to get a Clarity Act come through and pass, or what your expectation is for XRP in the coming months. But I want you guys to stay blessed, be positive. I'm going to catch you in the next one.